go.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us here today. I know you're probably wondering why you're seeing a video like this on this channel because normally you just see Madden highlights. Coming now in 2021, you're going to start seeing more weekly videos with myself, and most likely in the up, down, left, or right, you'll probably see a couple of these people guesting on some of my videos so I can get some of their great opinions. I am Chaos, and with me are a great collection of nerds who I come to love as family. You can also find us on the Wakinda Black Nerd Cast, is this channel here on YouTube, and you can find that podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and Anchor, and pretty much almost every major platform. I've introduced myself, but I'd like to introduce some of the guests here today. So first, I would like to introduce a great content creator, La. Introduce yourself and let everybody know where they can find you at.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Live, better known as BlackGirl Marvel. You can find me on all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, IG, TikTok. I'm out here at BlackGirl Marvel. I'm everywhere, and hopefully, Warner Brothers and YouTube get up off my back.
Let the sister breathe.
Let me breathe so that you guys can watch my Wonder Woman 84 review that they chopped and screwed. You feel me? So
I'm glad you're saying this now because after what you're gonna say about the review, they might not say that at all.
Oh yeah, they probably still won't do it because I'm about to flame this movie. Go ahead. Follow me everywhere, BlackGirl Marvel.
Yeah. And next up, we have the most well-dressed person on the show today, Lucia. Lucia, where can the people find you at? And thank you for joining me.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, Kyle. It is such a pleasure being here. Thank you to my other fellow co-hosts, guys. You guys look great today.
Girl, you cute.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and like some other stuff at Issheblackorazn. And yeah, I'll be places.
Facts. She be everywhere.
Last but certainly not least,
photography, that cosplay. Don't let her fool you.
Yes.
She don't know how to brag on herself, so I'll do it for her. Okay.
A makeup artist extraordinaire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you guys.
And next we have the DJ of the group, the beat maker, beatmeister, Jay Tezla. Jay Tezla, where can everybody find you at?
This should have a lot more vodka in it. You can find me at Jay Tezla on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, on Twitch at Jay Tezla, on WordPress at jteslanerd.wordpress.com. You're gonna want to find me a lot of places because what I'm about to say about this film is probably gonna get me a call by the FCC.
Yeah, he's on Bandcamp, Spotify, all that jazz.
All that Spotify, who knows anymore? Because certain companies, like to fuck with me. And then I have to write a list that they don't slap their asses. So yeah.
Also, you can also find me. You found me here on YouTube, so you know that much. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, same name at Team Chaos. You can also find me on TikTok, same name at Team Chaos.
What?
Yes, I have a TikTok now.
I saw proof. Nothing, not a damn thing.
I've given in, so I'm now on the TikTok, as the kids say.
Not on the TikTok.
Yes,
one of us.
I tried to outlast I outlasted the Snapchat phase. I couldn't resist the TikTok one. Mainly because Jay Tezla sends so many of them, I had to create a TikTok to watch the videos he sends. Otherwise, it says create account.
They are funny. At least you're not as bad as La, because La snaps are hilarious to me.
I've seen them.
Be out here thirst trapping. I'm like,
14 Instagram accounts. They are hilarious.
Wait, La's what? Wait,
La be like 14 Instagram accounts on Snapchat.
And then when she does it, they all come in order. So I just see her swipe, her swipe, her swipe. Just swipe it and just see her.
Be my face. Let's just put that out there.
Okay.
It be listen, I'll be honest, it be my face and a little bit of the top of the chest.
Sure.
You feel me? Y'all lying. Y'all acting like it's more stuff than that. But it's about to be though, because I'm about to be out here. I don't care no more.
You about to be on
OnlyFans coming in 2021.
On that demon time.
So, ironically, one of us hasn't seen the film we're about to discuss now, so we're going to completely ruin the film for her. By the way, this is your spoiler alert. If you have not seen Wonder Woman 84, you probably should not watch this. You should still watch it, but you might want to watch the film, then come back. Bookmark. Add to your watch later playlist.
Watch this first.
Get drunk, then watch the film, then get high, watch the rest of the film, and then come back and watch us.
Or watch us first and then go watch the film to see if we know what we're talking about, because we do. That way you can laugh at the stuff that we are about to fry.
Or they could just watch this and just skip the movie altogether, which is what I'm gonna do.
Well, when you hear our reviews, you might lose advice. Let us know in the comments also what you thought of the film. Are you in the minority or the majority? I'm a gentleman, so I will start with the lady that actually seen the show, movie, BlackGirl Marvel. What were your initial thoughts of the actual film? What did you think about it before going in? What did you have, like, any preconceived notions from the trailers of what we've heard? It's taken us 6 months to get to this movie. So what were some of your preconceived notions and initial thoughts?
Preconceived notion number one.
One thing before you go in.
What?
One thing before you go in. In the words of one of the greatest rappers of all time, Mr. Method Man, get him.
I'm dead. My initial thoughts going in was it was going to be good. One, looking at the trailers, the multiple trailers they gave, I was super excited. From the music to the brightness of the colors to the only white people breakdancing. We're not going to get into that. I was super excited for this film. So when it came out, I was like, I'm about to do a reaction video. I'm about to do all this stuff. And I look terrible in my reaction video because my face looks like this the entire time I'm watching it.
Well, I think I found my thumbnail. No.
There you go. That is my face. You can use it. I get permission if you want to. This is my face the entire time. I'm like, what?
That's your numb face, right? That's
numb,
the numb
as ever. Okay. I'm like, she's swinging on lightning. Oh, he back? Like, they took a powerful woman and made her Bella Swan from Twilight.
I've heard two other people in the internet movie fandom who have made that same comparison.
They turned her into this. How did you go
from that shit either?
How did you go from an island full of women? You're empowered. You made all these men around you feel like they were not less than, but like up their game because they weren't doing their thing, and you lowered yours. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm heartless. The man she loved died. I understand that. But y'all, if you really go back to the first Wonder Woman, what did y'all really do?
Okay, that's something that got me. I'm like, you guys had a long weekend together.
Come on.
And this is the love of your life. Like, Superman in this same universe, Superman and Lois have had more time to connect than you and Steve did. And I ain't see Lois crying that much after Clark died.
You feel me?
Just saying.
It was just, I was like, what happened to Diana? I was like, where's my Diana, right? Like, you didn't give me Diana until the freaking film ended. And I was like, well, there ain't no more shots. There ain't no more scenes for me to get into this now. Like, I wasn't connected. I made a on my show, I'm not trying to plug me, but plug me. On my my reaction, I made a comment about there's a scene, spoilers, where she has to renounce her wish and Steve has to go away, right? That scene, ooh, once again, that was supposed to be like, ooh, a heartfelt, emotional, she don't want to let him go, but she knows it's for the right of the world type of scene. And my face, one, and two, I made a comment that said, I have watched Inside Out 1,000,000,000 times and I still cry, and I felt no emotion watching these two people that are supposed to like I was blown away by the fact that she made it to the 80s. The 80s was like a beautiful time. You know, music, everything was coming into fruition, like electronics, technology, all that type of stuff was like becoming like the mecca, coming of something like in the 80s. She didn't have fun in the 80s until he came back. And then she was like showing him everything, like this is art and this is this. But the whole movie, she's like moping around, like, I gotta go save people and I can't meet men because the only guy I ever like winked at died. Like, I was just, I could talk more on it, but I don't want to usurp the time. So, and I'll just
Jay Tezla, you have an allotted amount of time. We're not going to jump all over. What were your initial thoughts going into this film? And what did you think of what was your first impression?
You go first.
No, I'll let you go first.
Okay.
I'm dead.
Because I went for 3 minutes and 17 seconds and I wanted to give her her fair time.
Listen, that's short compared
to
what I could do.
So you were my initial thoughts, right? I watched this movie and I thought after the movie ended, I laid in my bed. It was like 3 a.m. after I watched this movie, and one question kept going through my head: this movie sucks. Why?
Mm-hmm.
And it kept bugging me. I'm like, why? What about this movie? Because I love Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman. I loved that movie, and I kept thinking to myself, why does this movie suck? It feels so weird. Patty's still involved. Gal Gadot still playing Wonder Woman. They brought back Robin Wright to play her auntie.
I was so happy about that.
They brought in Pedro Pascal to right. They brought in Pedro Pascal, who just come off The Mandalorian. Kristen Wiig is playing
Kristen,
whatever, blah blah. She's playing.
That's her mama.
She's playing Barbara Minerva. She's playing Cheetah. Okay, pretty good cast. Why does this movie suck? And I watched it. I'm like, I still don't get it. And then I watched it again, and I'm mad I missed this.
You watched it twice? I'm sorry.
So I watched it twice, and I noticed the one thing I missed, and I don't know how I missed this. In the beginning, when she's running through the field, it's to get to the actual race, which we're going to cover that in a second.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. Continue.
I saw 2 names that instantaneously snapped in my head and said, oh, fuck this movie. Deborah and Zack Snyder.
Oh, yeah. He's got a producer credit on the entire DCEU.
And I was like, wait a minute. I knew he was involved in Wonder Woman, but that was only because it was a part of the Justice League storyline. So that makes sense. This is a standalone. Aquaman didn't have him involved. Shazam wasn't there. He definitely went there for Joker, and he wasn't there for Suicide Squad. Or not Suicide, but Birds of Prey. Why the fuck? And from that moment, I rewatched it. I'm like, that's him. That's him. That's him. That's him. That's him. Every scene that was like, this don't make no motherfucking sense. Not motherfucking sense. I'm like, no, like, La brought up the scene of some scenes that like Diana didn't feel like Diana. There's like one scene that I'm like, this is Zack Snyder. When she leaves Egypt and she somehow gets to DC in a matter of 5 minutes flat, and they address it in the movie, like, because Barbara's like, she got here fast. You got here fast.
You know what's funny, real quick? I'm a stickler for continuity in films. That's one of the first things I fell in love with in movies. Because I would just watch a movie, I'm like, wait, that cup was different the other way around. Like, that's messed up. When I saw that, I'm like, hold up. And I actually paused the film, which is actually one of the joys of being able to watch this in your own home. So I paused the film and I Googled it. I'm like, time zone from Cairo, Egypt to DC. Because I'm like, I feel like I don't feel like she should be able to call from Cairo, Egypt there. There's a 7-hour time difference. So she either caught Barbara at the beginning of her day or the end of her day. But the fact that you just had that in there just let me know. I'm like, I don't trust this film. The fact that you just have somebody call from Cairo, Egypt on a payphone in the 80s to a job.
So here's the issue I have. The issue I have with this movie, and just to kind of end off my initial thoughts of this movie, is that you mean to tell me that you make you make Diana the strongest entity in this version of the DC movies. She's stronger than Superman. Stronger than Superman, way stronger. She's by the smartest Batman, all that shit. Batman's weakness is not having money. Superman's weakness is a green rock.
I'm dead.
Flash's weakness is his family. You mean to tell me?
Sorry, thinking of the TV show.
You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that Wonder Woman, the only woman you've given a solo film to, her weakness is dick? Are you kidding me?
Little silly. Yes.
Dick. Like think about this. Like I can go into a mobile thing like how there's no black people in the film whatsoever. What?
Not a man, not a.
You mean to tell me?
We were all through the 80s,
except for one. Except for that one lady that works in the museum. I was
I'm sorry. Hold on. There is the homeless guy.
Two. That's two then.
And the homeless guy is a friend of Barb.
Yeah, two.
And the part I didn't get about this is I could see if you were saying, oh, well, this is the 80s in like Manhattan or Boston or something like that. You were in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you was in Washington.
So,
Chocolate City.
She literally loses her powers over
more like
dick.
Vanilla
over
City.
actual dick. That's the only reason she lost her powers. Like none of that movie makes like there's literally a scene in the Cairo scene where she literally uses her feet and flings up a fucking driving SUV, and the next shot she can't push apart two trucks.
Well, she used the momentum from slamming her feet down to do that. I get that, but here's the some stuff I understood. Don't make it no less stupid. Some stuff I understood. Like she was slowly losing her abilities, so sometimes they'll come back into focus, and then sometimes she was losing them, which they weren't clear. A lot of this stuff wasn't clear. Okay.
Yeah, I'll jump on for that. So my initial thoughts, I was excited. I was not as gung-ho on some people were on the first Wonder Woman film. As I was watching it in the theater, the person I was watching it with kept nudging me because I was out loudly saying, that's just like Captain America's movie.
Yeah, that's what
that's just like Captain America's movie. Wait. And then, okay, that's just like, that's Captain America's movie. I didn't think it was that good, but I'm like, the fact that is arguably not my personal favorite, but the great consensus for most people is that it's the best DCEU film we've had so far.
No.
Me personally, I think Aquaman's the best one, which the movie does have its flaws, but if I'm looking from a film that I enjoyed from point A to point B, I enjoyed the ride I was on, I got the most enjoyment out of Aquaman. If you are familiar with my work and you want to look up my feelings on Justice League and Batman v Superman, please feel free. I don't have that much time left in this year to go on about those films. I was excited. I have said it before. I even said it in our group chat the other day. I was not initially on board with the casting of Gal Gadot because I'm like,
still not.
The girl from she says it. I've seen her in an interview. She says you can pronounce it that way. I'm like, her from what? Fast and Furious? Really? Is Wonder Woman? All right. She was good in Batman v Superman. I think she was the best part of Batman v Superman.
I have a question for you. For all of you, because I don't really know much about her. Is she a good actress? Because I have a hard time. Like I feel like DC might pick good actors, but like the directing sucks and the writing sucks because like, okay, Superman. What the fuck was that? So like I like Henry Cavill, I always was like, he sucks as an actor. I don't like him. And then I see him in The Witcher and I see him in like anything else
Man from Uncle is a really good film that he displays a lot of his talent. That's a
DC's
really good film.
biggest issue is a combination of both. It's a combination of bad actors and bad directors. You look at Suicide Squad, it's a combination of the two. You look at something like
I don't want to look at it.
Yeah, Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey.
Oh,
great.
I wasn't even gonna say nothing about that film.
Let me finish. Great director, okay actors, but bad positioning for the cast. Certain people, like, no one's gonna like. Look, I love Ewan McGregor, but no one's gonna believe him as Black Mask. I loved his suits, but he doesn't get. The last thing we saw him in, that was a big comic book or a big fandom movie, was Star Wars. He was a hero. No one really believed him as a villain.
He wasn't menacing.
I would say
Black Mask.
He was more of a quirky. See, this is the issue with DC, right? This is the issue with DC. They do not use their source material as source material, right?
They don't use it well.
They use their material as like a jumping off point to be like, oh, okay, this is the character name. We're going to take the character name and then do whatever we want to do with that character. We're going to add a little bit of sauce so you think we doing what we want, what you think we're going to do, but we really not.
I will piggyback to something I've said literally for 7.5 years now, even before I was in the internet movie fandom. Zack Snyder was the worst person to pick to shepherd this universe.
And I can piggyback off that.
Kevin Feige is somebody who had been in the business for over 20 years, been in comic book movies for 20 years, 10, 15 years, before the birth of the MCU. He was initially on the X-Men films. He was a AP on the Blade film. He saw how this should go. He saw what you could take from the source material, what you would have to change for live action, what audiences are willing to accept and what they're not willing to accept, and actually molded that with, honestly, some luck in getting Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. in some of their best stuff. You had lightning in a bottle. Zack Snyder is a good visual director. He is not a good director.
Yeah,
he knows how to put
it. Be on point. Yeah.
Visually, his movies do look good. 300, especially for when it came out in 2005. Hadn't seen blue screen technology used like that primarily in a big budget film. Did good. I was a fan of the Watchmen comic growing up. I was one of those people. There's no way you can make this movie. There's no way you can do it. After Lord of the Rings came out, well, that's how you're going to have to make Watchmen. You have to make four-hour movies. He condensed it, changed something, which I actually appreciate the ending of Watchmen. If you haven't seen it, it's 30 years old. That's your fault, but I won't spoil it. I like the choice he made in the film. He literally took panels from the comic book and made them live action. Made it look good. Batman is the best character for him and his talents. Superman was the worst person to do this with. He's the worst person to start the new universe with, and Zack Snyder was the worst person to pick for it because he does not understand who Superman is fundamentally as a character. He wanted to make him gritty. He wanted to make him dark. He wanted to make him modern. Superman as a character works best like Captain America does. He is a man of his time, and he needs to stay that in modern time. The thing about Captain America that works, Cap is a character from the 40s who does not feel the need to change to modern times because his 40s ideology works best. That's what makes him unique. That's what started Civil War. Superman should be that. He should be the boring Boy Scout, truth, justice, and the American way, because that will clash with Batman.
He's supposed to be the best of us, not the worst.
That's what works with him. Zack Snyder was not the person to do that, and they are still, this film still shows, like you said, Tezla, his fingerprints are on this franchise, and that is something they cannot get away from. It just is. Nothing has been great.
I just want to say real quick. Heard the initial question she asked. I feel like the DCEU in some instances pick very, I'm not going to say green actors because I don't know how long they actually been acting, but I still feel like they aren't as seasoned in their filmology as they should be to take on certain characters. As much as I love Henry Cavill, and I've seen, like I said, like you said, I've seen him in other things that showcase him a little bit more, but I feel like it's because he consistently kept working and kept getting jobs and has been able to like train those muscles and realize what works and what doesn't work. And he's probably been working with directors that's been like, you cute, but do this. You know what I mean? Like,
and I'll even add this.
Do this. And I feel like Gal Gadot is the same way. I feel like she was
Marvel cast good people. Marvel cast good people for their roles. DC is just casting actors. Yeah. I have not seen anything, and you guys know how much I rave about Margot Robbie. Love her. There's nothing Margot has done as Harley Quinn that another actress.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is,
I cannot think of another person as Iron Man. I cannot think of another person as Captain America. I can't think of anybody else as Ant-Man.
The only two castings
I can do that with almost every single version of the DCEU.
The only two castings I think DC has gotten right overall have been Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa. Every other casting is questionable. Every other casting,
I give you that. I'm in the Cavill bunch. I like what he's done with the role, but I don't think they haven't given him that much to do with it.
They haven't given him much. That's very true.
Here's the issue.
The guy's gotten the short end of the stick.
Here's the issue I have with DC, and I want to start ripping this movie to shreds. I'm going to start with this. I want to be a fly on the wall where they were writing this movie, and because Zach was in the room, and they were like, "Yeah, so right after she renounces her wish, we're going to have her run in high speed, use her lasso to swing on a cloud, then swing to a jumbo jet."
She wasn't on the cloud. She did. I noticed that. That's why.
Whoa.
She attached herself to the church. She gripped the church.
She launched herself kind of like Spider-Man would.
Okay,
but still, real quick,
at that point,
that is something that ticked me off too. They overpowered that lasso.
Oh my god!
Oh no! Not that.
Too much.
Not that. I'm not even getting to that. I'm not even getting to that. Watch this. It'll look like I'm crazy. After that moment, she hears Trevor, and what does she do next? She starts flying. Now, last time I checked, the movie is called Wonder Woman 1984. That means it's set before BVS, Justice League, and anything else they've done so far. Did she fly in either of those two movies?
That goes back to why I hate prequels. That's why I don't like prequels, because you have to introduce something new. But where was this?
And here's the issue I have with the writing on this. Jeff Johns, the guy that runs DC, and Patty Jenkins, arguably your best director at the moment, are in the writer's room. And neither one of them were like, yeah, we shouldn't do that because it doesn't make sense to the continuity of DC. Especially then you have it to where she flies for a full fucking hour. Never mind that Maxwell Lord's about to use the stone, which we're going to get to the stupidity of that shit later. He's trying to use to take over the world. She's flying for an hour. Then web swings with the lasso on lightning, then runs home, grabs the suit that we all got hinted at later early in the movie to go grab that, and then fly in under 5 minutes from DC to wherever the fuck this island was.
Can I just say for the whole flying thing, I'm going to quote somebody that we all know and love. I feel like that she was falling with style. Because I just, thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's good. That was good. I'm using that as the real.
Falling with style.
I just feel like
that looks bad. It looks cringy.
Here was one of my things on my own review that I said was one of the reasons why I felt like this film was like, man, it was because throughout the entire film, I went, oh, so this about to happen? Okay. Oh, and then they about to do this? Oh, she about to start flying. Oh, like my man told her, the wind in the air. The moment I said wind and air, his voiceover came in like, it's like wind and air. It's like,
you know what gets me too? I'll give this credit. They handled her flying scene better than they handled Superman's flying scene.
But here's the problem with that.
Because that's an essential part of who Superman is.
But the problem with that is Superman's didn't feel cringy.
Yeah, I
didn't feel cringy. It didn't hurt to watch.
I preferred his because, right, he has so much power that he's been keeping dormant for so long that when he tries to knocking down mountains, it makes sense, right? He's powering through the ground and it's shaking. It makes sense. She just jumped high in the air and was like, "Oh, this how you go? This how you do it?"
And with that, the thing that actually retroactively pissed me off about that is, and this is obviously Lou. Yes, obviously Lou. This is spoiling everything for you. But there's a point in the film, and
you don't give a shit.
And stay with me now. So they need to get from Washington D.C. to Cairo, Egypt, to intercept Maxwell Lord. Mm-hmm. So Diana, and I'm going to tell you how the scene goes. So picture it.
DC was like, no.
That's how bad it was.
I think I know what scene he's about to get to. So essentially, they put Steve, Trevor, and Diana in a 1980s jet pilot, jet plane. They let Steve drive it. He's never driven one before. And the way they end up, it's funny.
I don't think they changed that much in 30 years, though. But continue, though.
But here's the thing. So they start flying it, and the hitch to get them out of it is Diana can create the invisibility part. So she's literally putting her palm together, and she goes, oof.
She's like this. She's literally like this. She's like, hold on. I've tried doing this before. What are you doing? I'm making us invisible.
Can I please do what
and then she makes the jet invisible.
No, wait, I need Lada to do this because she acts very well. So I need her to do it.
This is what she did. She's sitting in the cockpit. I'm a child. And she's like, okay, focus.
What are you doing?
Focus. She's like, my father he kept our island hidden by keeping it invisible. I've only done it one time on a cup, but I lost the cup. And she's like, you can see the invisibleness in the middle of her hands, but she's doing this weird thing with her hands. And then he's like, well, anytime you're ready. And she's like, and she just touched the jet
one time, and then let's go.
And it turns invisible, and she's fine.
And
but
mind you,
finding it again. But mind
you, she never uses it again. She could have literally used it against Cheetah, and that would make the fight a hell of a lot easier. And I want to get to something really quickly about that fight. So she fights Cheetah, right?
Hold on. Hold that. I'm still on the invisible stuff. Hold that thought in your head real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna hold it.
Okay, from the beginning. Okay, y'all remember the scene, because Lou, you remember the scene from the trailer where she's in the mall and she's fighting the dudes or whatever.
Which you could have cut.
But
the first 17 minutes of this movie added nothing to the plot. This movie was 2 hours and 41 minutes long. You legit could have cut the first 18 minutes and it would have changed nothing.
Because nobody could have changed 2 hours and 40 some minutes.
And I just said that earlier. I'm like, how is this movie 2 hours and 41 minutes long? It's not.
But then I cut mine so much that I got a 59-minute movie and still got copyrighted. But anyway, I'm hot about that. But the whole thing throughout the whole movie, I was watching, because when she's in the mall, she's doing some stuff where I was like, is she a full god now? Like she was doing things that I was like, she's really tapping into that godhood, isn't she? Because honestly, I didn't connect her to Justice League. I mean, not Justice League, but Batman versus Superman and Justice League, essentially. I watching this movie, I took her out of those movies. I threw those movies away, which they should be, but I threw those movies away. And I took it from, I'm watching a movie right after the first Wonder Woman movie. I'm watching this movie, and that's the timeline no, it doesn't flow. But I'm going there, but I'm sitting here like, you are telling me, okay, we find out that at the end of Wonder Woman that Diana is part god, right? She's a demigod, or I'm assuming she's a full god, because
I think she's a demigod technically, but
my thing is she was created, but they didn't classify it because Zeus created her. Now they never said they took some of Hippolyta's blood. They just said Zeus. They just said Zeus created her. So she's either a demigod or a full god. But either way you slice it, I'm sitting here like, y'all ain't gonna tell us how her powers have progressed, what she's been doing. So you just want me to believe that she just figured out how to create.
That's not the worst thing. That's not the worst thing. Really? That's not the worst thing of the movie. Here's the worst thing of the movie. The Dreamstone. They never explain, Lou, how Maxwell Lord, this scumbag con artist, knows about an ancient stone that has ruined civilizations throughout the years.
And not even that.
Never explain it.
It has the script of the old gods on it.
And how he knew about it.
And the thing is,
they didn't try to explain that at all.
He is introduced into the movie in a scene in the Smithsonian, because of course she works in the Smithsonian. In the Smithsonian.
Because she's a relic.
He automatically no, we're not doing that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He automatically knows what it is. He was expecting it, and then we just move on. We just no additional information.
Not even that. He knew who was going to be in possession of it, but then you find out that he's broke. So where did you get this information from?
He's a Ponzi scheme artist. How he could get in touch with this information none of that is done. All right, so
how it ended up in the exact same city she's in.
But they thought they was doing something. They thought they was doing something by showing us that he had pictures of it everywhere. That means nothing.
Okay.
Means nothing.
Jay Tezla, what is a positive that you took? No movie is without some positive merit. What is a positive that you enjoyed about this movie? You've given this movie over 5 hours of your time now. What is something positive that you enjoyed about this film?
Ooh, thank you for asking him first, because oof.
After this year, I've learned he does not go last.
Oof.
I can tell you what I
like.
The
White House scene. I will say that's the only time I like Cheetah in this movie, because when they make her Cheetah, I thought Cats looked better.
No,
like there was okay.
I didn't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's a meme. There's a meme going on.
Move. I got this. There was no reason to turn her into Cheetah. There was none. In fact, the way she looks in the White House scene where she's wearing the cheetah print, that would work, because what it did was it made her another Wonder Woman. That would have been fine. Hell, that fight scene, had you done a little bit better on the CGI, would be just a little bit better, it would have worked. The fight be a little bit longer,
which is a big issue in this film too.
That would be that would be made me love to see a little bit more. The fact that quite literally her fights are if you tally the fight in the White House and the fight at the station together, they're 10 minutes long. That's the shortest fight scene between the main villain and the hero in the DCU movies ever.
Wait, both of them together?
All together, it's 10
Here's how bad it is. The fight scene between Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, and Doomsday is longer.
Oh yeah.
The longest fight scene.
Oh yeah.
And the worst part about this, and this coming from as a sound guy, they fucked up her theme song. Her theme song felt
wait, hold on. Thank you for saying that, because I haven't seen too many people mention that. They did not use her theme song at all this movie, and they used the time. And her powers was very spring. I was honestly wondering if I was the only person that picked up on that.
And her powers didn't make sense, because here's my issue with
her theme song, like truly, like at the end, but it was for like a slight second. It was like dirt. Okay, we done, y'all.
Then the part that used to that was just when she arrived with the golden armor. I'm like, at no point other when she had a heroic moment did they really use it. And I'm like, her theme song was badass.
My issue with Wonder Woman,
when she started losing her powers, that's when they started messing up the music for her.
My issue with the fight scenes is this: even though she didn't have any physical strength, she still had the lasso, and she was using that to full capacity. My issue was in the beginning of this movie with that horrible bank robbery scene.
I said what you liked.
I'm getting to that. It gets back to that.
Maybe he gets it.
Why? Like, I did like how the lasso did shit that we never seen before. The fact that she was able to wrap up two guys, pull them on different parts of the string like a Y, and then yank them down while still swinging. That was cool, but that didn't make no sense when she didn't use that shit on Cheetah.
BlackGirl Marvel, what is a positive? You've spent almost the same amount of time, 2 movie lengths on this film, watching it for your review and then watching it in general. What is a positive? What is something you enjoyed about Wonder Woman 84?
Firstly, I watched it once. No, I'm saying, I guess I was supposed to be thinking about a positive.
I knew she wasn't thinking of
Didn't say I was gonna make it easy for y'all on this episode.
No, I that's fine. Make me think. Okay. I will say a positive.
The end credits.
You feel me? Okay, I will say that a positive is that I saw Linda Carter.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: the original Wonder Woman.
We already said. The original
spoiler. Wonder Woman she comes out in the end credits scene.
Here's the thing. I laughed. I will say I laughed at this part, right? Because in the that's terrible. But y'all should Patty and Gal Gadot should have gave that 10 million to them for
could have used it, man, because that was some PlayStation 2 type shit.
That was worse than PlayStation 2. That was PlayStation 1, dog.
I enjoy seeing Linda Carter for one because I feel like she should have been in the first film because she's Wonder Woman.
Well, apparently too, they created that role just for her.
Right.
Because Patty said she didn't want to just give her, and I'm saying this quote from Patty over the week in her interview with IGN, she didn't just want to give her a meaningless cameo. She wanted to do something with her. I'm like,
okay, you know what?
No,
wait, Tez, let me finish. Hold up. I like that scene because one, it was just nice to see Linda Carter because I feel like if the person is still alive, you need to pay homage, right? Because I feel like it's the same thing in Mulan where they had Ming-Na Wen presenting the new Mulan in that film. Like, you give props to the original person, right? But also I laughed at that scene because in somewhere in that scene, Diana talks to Steve about Asteria because that's the character's name, and about how she gave up her life for the women of Themyscira to escape the world of men because the men was being men, essentially. And so I laughed super hard because when you find out that, because Diana was like, she gave her life. You find out that she's alive and she deserted y'all just like Wonder Woman did. Like, I was like,
it didn't make any sense. Because like, okay, if she died, then wouldn't she still, like, you would find the body with the armor. So you just found this random piece of armor and you don't explain. Armor.
Because she said, remember she said it. She was like, I went searching and all I found was the armor. But
I'm like,
no bones.
But then think about it too. I'm like, so when we saw the scene of where she's dying, those are gladiators. That took place hundreds of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, you telling me in all that time nobody found that gold armor, melted it down, sold it, kept it. But that whole thing that just so happens to fit you also.
But here's the thing though too. They never told us when she found it, right? Because if you go from the 50s where we see her, so now she's in the 80s. There's a 30-year time period where
actually it's more. It was World War I.
Well,
yeah, it was longer.
It's long, so it's a longer time period where when did she find it?
Another unanswered question.
Did they find it on Themyscira? But it sounded like the way she explained it was that she found it when she got to the Smithsonian.
Exactly. I'm like,
what is it?
Too many unanswered questions.
Or better yet,
I'll say the thing I like the most about this film, 1A and 1B, and not to really come across as an asshole saying this, but it was the two guys. It was Chris Pine and Pedro Pascal. They were the two things I liked about this movie the most. I did not think I was going to enjoy Chris Pine in this because he's all right. He's serviceable. I didn't see I didn't see the point in having him back because I'm like, okay, that really robs us of the emotional investment of the first film. But okay.
This movie is called Steve Trevor 1984. That's what this movie is. It's Steve Trevor 1984.
But you know what? I actually like the fact
Wonder Woman.
that I actually like the fact that he was not helpless. And I love the fact that as a character, he was proactive and about it. When she got into a fight scene, there was somebody coming behind her. He was on their ass. He saw she was down. He tried to get her out the way. He wasn't just helpless and needed her to save him. He actually was adding to it and actually saved her once or twice. So I at least like that he wasn't just a helpless guy or damsel, you know, that just needed to be saved. It was a little twist on that. And it actually made me like him more as a character. Huh?
It was a repeat of the first movie. It was beat for beat a repeat.
It had a lot of those.
For the cheetah part, it was a repeat.
It was an inverse. In the first one, she saved him. In this one, he saved her. Like it was just an inverse. That's all.
And I like the fact that they covered the I don't know where I'm at. This stuff is new to me. They covered that, and then they just skipped on. He's helping her investigate stuff. Mm-hmm. He's asking her questions. It wasn't. I liked him more in this one than I did in the first.
But also,
in the first one, he just came across as a one-dimensional character.
Can we ask though? What happened to the poor soul's body that he took? Like, what?
And why was Wonder Woman okay with it?
What happened? That's what I was saying. I was like, what? Okay, because my thing is this, right? I wish for
we
you.
We gotta explain to Lou. So
Lou,
here's what happens.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you because this is like I was kind of going into a point. So I'll tell you what happens. There's a dream stone that grants wishes.
The major MacGuffin of the film is a dream stone. You make a wish.
You make a wish.
One wish.
Right?
One wish.
One wish. I'm gonna get into which I actually saying that on my channel, but I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that one wish thing in a minute because something right about that. But there's a dream stone. You make one wish. You get your wish, but like any other wish, any other mythology, it takes something from you, right? It takes what you hold most. So Diana, unbeknownst to herself, made a wish that she wished like Steve.
She's the only person in the movie that makes a wish without actually saying the words out loud.
She just makes a wish, right? Then
we never hear her make the wish.
Yeah, one of the major plot points of the film is Pedro Pascal's character has to get somebody to say the words "I wish ... as he's touching them.
No.
And then makes that happen.
But here's the thing.
She's the only person that never says this.
But that's him though. But I feel like that's him though, right? Because he does a stupid thing and he wishes to become the dream stone itself.
Which made no sense.
Which makes no sense. But so for me, as a human, you would have to hear. But as the stone, just touching it, I think it already kind of like knew what she wanted. I don't think she actually had to verbalize it. But that is a point. She was the only person that actually verbalized it. So, but it takes something from you. So she like intuitively like wishes for Steve to come back, right? But what it does is it takes what's most treasured to you. So it took her powers. Slowly but surely, she was like becoming human throughout the whole film because Steve was back, right? So that's like the whole thing for me. But my thing is this: she wished him back. He came back in the body of a person. So my thing is, this dreamstone can create.
So what she means is, everybody else sees this guy. She sees Steve.
She sees Steve. She can
took over somebody else's entire body and life.
So his soul is gone.
When Steve finds her, he takes her back to this guy's apartment.
And Steve sees the guy in the
mirror.
Steve
looks. He sees the guy's reflection. He doesn't even see himself.
Because I'm guessing she's a god. I'm not putting Demi on that because only gods can see the people within. Okay, she was able to see that it's Steve because he just said some words to her, like the last thing he said to her, Wonder Woman. You saw
it in the trailer.
You saw it in the trailer when she gave him the watch. He gave her the watch and everything, and she hugged him, all that type of stuff. But my question:
$300 million movie.
And then at the end of the movie, Lou, she sees the guy that was Steve as himself.
By the way, and I wrote this in my actual notes. That guy's a fucking dumbass. I don't think Gal Gadot's a good actor, but she's beautiful. She was straight up hitting on him. And he did not catch none of the.
She wasn't.
He's just. Yep. And they had an awkward silence in there. It's like I'm saying, dude, I'm like, dude, say something. She's compliment a beautiful woman without you doing anything. Compliments you on your clothes and your style. You want to say nothing, dude?
Nope. I'm gonna say this right now as a woman. we can compliment you on your style and not like you like that. We're not that doesn't always equate.
In that situation, she knew who he was. She had an emotional attachment to him. That's why she was lingering.
Okay.
She didn't have an emotional attachment to him. She had an emotional attachment to Steve. His face meant nothing. She doesn't know this guy. But my whole thing was, this Dreamstone, mind you, Lou, this Dreamstone, you can wish for somebody dead and it will kill them. You can wish, one person wish for like their lands to be like their land and their dynasty, a big old wall got created, got built all like around this city or whatever. But she wished for him to come back and he came back in the body of another person. You telling me?
And here's the part that throws me the hell off. So like, and this is how it was a Zack Snyder choice. She's like, yeah, so we're gonna have this movie that stars an Israeli or a girl have a scene where Egypt gets split in half. That's smart. Who?
So yeah, I picked up on that. I'm like, maybe you don't bring her character to Egypt either, but they did.
They did.
So, and here's the part that threw me off about
having her destroy this country.
So here's where it really pissed me off. After she beats Cheetah in literally 5 minutes flat, she goes where Maxwell Lord is, and the way he's able to keep her away is through the power of wish and wind. He literally says, "Wish granted, wish granted," and it's a wind literally pushing her away. You would think, okay, it's Maxwell Lord, maybe. Because what he's doing every time he touches someone and gets their wish, he takes something from them. So I'm thinking, okay, make him a metahuman, make him stupid strong to fight against one of them hand to hand and show that. No, he literally he literally pulls a Pharrell Gust of Wind song and is pushing her ass out the fucking way. Then stands in a, and by the way, the way he gets to this radio tower is the dumbest shit in the world. Because if you watch the scene over again, he walks right into the president's office, the White House. And the president's like, you seen somebody? Like, wait for somebody. Like, yeah, I was waiting for somebody. I don't know why. The president wishes for more nukes. He says, okay, I'll take all your security team with me. And then he turns the fuck around. And in front of him are literal 3-point charts of a satellite that can send particles to different TVs and any form of media across the planet.
That's convenient.
Set in 1984,
oh my god,
that's 1984, and digital TV is not at that level yet. There's no technology at that level.
It's basically emergency broadcast interrupting every television signal.
And the problem with that is this. The problem with that is this. Maxwell Lord literally asked the president. So theoretically, so I can literally touch everyone with this satellite. The president says, no, that's figuratively you could, but no, not really. He's like, I'll take it.
That's the climax.
That's the climax of the fucking movie.
He goes, no, but that's how it was explained to me.
So
and I'm sitting here like,
hold on. So we've gone from Wonder Woman just wishing it in her mind and it happening, Maxwell Lord touching it and wishing to become it, him then touching anybody and then granting the wish, to him being on television like we're doing right now, and that grants it. All in 2 hours and
not even that. When he was on
that's how it's progressed.
When he was on the plane going to the station with Cheetah in tow, he was like, I'm feeling generous. What you wish for? And that's when she wishes she was an apex predator. But somewhere in the film they say that you can only have one wish. And she already,
and mind you, his son tried to make a second wish and it didn't work. And
I said the same thing on my channel. I was like, it didn't work. And then mind you, he wasn't even touching her on the plane.
Nope.
So
or better yet, here's the best part.
Confused.
Wonder Woman wraps her lasso around his leg and literally dummy phones herself or changes herself to him.
Remember what she did to Aquaman? That was the funny part in Justice League where he was sitting on the lasso of truth. Mm-hmm. That's the climax of this film.
And she talks to the world, mind you. She's speaking English. She's not speaking any other language.
Yeah.
No, but I would assume because it's a broadcasting company, whatever she is speaking.
No, fuck that. Because Maxwell Lord speaks English, and it doesn't. It's the exact same thing across the world.
Well,
so here's the best part. She asked everyone to renounce their wishes, and some weird reason it works. But
not everybody renounced it, because one of the plot points that they intentionally left open, Cheetah goes from looking like a cheetah to looking like regular
Now that's explained,
but she
because
doesn't renounce her wish. So therefore, is a plot point of, does she still also have part of Wonder Woman's power?
But here's the question:
that Patty Jenkins even said she left open.
But here's the part that throws me the hell off about the whole thing. The stone itself.
But that doesn't even make sense. Because if she didn't renounce it, how did she even turn back into?
Well, that's one thing. But here's the big MacGuffin of all this. The stone itself does not decay over time if it's not used. It just sits there. When Maxwell Lord takes the thing in, he's dying every time he grants someone's wish. So if he renounces, right? So if he renounces everyone's wishes and his wish, we should see the stone somewhere, right? It's never seen again, which implies the stone is still in him. So shouldn't he be dead? So on top of all of that, the world remembers everything, and he's not arrested.
Hey, listen, Tez, I said that at the end of mine too. Like when he was screaming, listen, the title of my thing is like, let's talk Wonder Woman 84. And then in parentheses, I got Alistair, because he was screaming his son's name throughout the whole movie.
And then his son just showed up like it's the fucking Spanish Inquisition,
And I was like,
I'll give this. Pedro Pascal did some good acting with that child actor.
He really did.
That kid was not giving him anything back.
And then they built in this 5-minute bullshit story about how his tragic backstory. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't care, but here my whole thing was this. I said, okay.
Well, see that's another thing I hate. They had to make him sympathetic.
One, I thought it was funny because I was like, hey, you guys, Wonder Woman saved everybody like she was Supergirl with hope. She saved everybody. She didn't throw a punch too much, but she saved everybody with hope. And then
speaking of that, if you take Cheetah out of this film, nothing's different. Cheetah added nothing.
Cheetah didn't have to be in this film at all.
I said this, and
nobody got arrested. Was my whole thing.
Zero disputed.
Didn't get arrested.
I said it. If you watch this film, Cheetah did nothing that added to the main plot. Her and Gal Gadot had 3 scenes together. Kristen Wiig was basically doing her own movie for the majority of it. Ooh. Her character added nothing to the film. It was literally a thing where if you did not have Cheetah in this film, it would have been like Superman Returns, to where you would not have had a case for the superhero to throw a punch.
Here's how bad it gets.
Somebody who was a physical adversary.
Here's how bad it gets.
Nothing.
She only gets her nickname Cheetah because she sees Diana wearing cheetah heels.
Oh, and by the way, this is the first thing I wrote, and I took a video of it.
The same look I had.
I took a video of this, and I meant to send it to La, but it was too late. You know what they did in this movie, right? La.
No. What?
What did we just talk about? Nerd shorthand. Barbara's walking and drops the papers and the briefcase, and it spills over.
No,
and
that's
Diana comes.
And that's the part that threw me. I was pissed about that.
This is what I wanted to talk about, because I talk about this on my little video. Hopefully, somebody will be able to view it soon. But I talk about how the whole time when they introduced Barbara, that long shot of her walking up to the Smithsonian, her tripping on her shoes and her walking in, the whole time I was watching it, I was like, her dropping the suitcase. Dudes walking past her, not helping. Diana coming, both of their bosses coming, not knowing who she is, but knowing who Diana is. I was like, so you're telling me that she is Selena Kyle from Batman Returns? Is that what you're telling me? Because you are trying so hard to show me why she becomes a villain, right? She is so the disgruntled, overlooked, and her transition from like nerd barber.
It's just Minerva, glasses and a hairstyle.
From her, it's not even glasses and a hairstyle. She was literally wearing a dress as a t-shirt, and all she did was take off her skirt and her leg. And she was hot.
Yeah.
The big thing about her character is she like, I'm not good at walking in heels, right? We see her in these brown heels when she comes in. She's in the same brown heels when she's hanging out with Diana for this little dinner that they had, which was awkward as forever, and they could have cut
no
that
chemistry.
Too.
No chemistry.
Could have cut that scene too. When she's in her office and she wakes up like, I'm a different person now, not really understanding why I'm a different person. And there's some water spilling, and they showed you that she's different because she hops on a chair all graceful. She has on different pairs of shoes.
Oh, those are the shoes she had on originally. When she's first walking up, she has the sneakers on, then changes to the heels. And hold on. And I said this to my mother. I asked her, I'm like, Mom, let me ask you a question. You've been walking in heels for a long time. She's like, yeah, since I was a teenager. I'm like, so when you were in your mid-20s, early 30s, you had gotten used to walking in heels. Yes. I'm like, so if you were walking in heels, would you trip like that? She's like, no, because you've done that before as a woman.
I'm gonna say
those heels before.
Everybody's not that graceful. I don't wear heels for that fact.
I'm just saying, this was not her first day on the job. This was not her first time. So therefore, it's just nerd shorthand to make it so she's awkward and clumsy.
For me, her tripping over her heels, that didn't bother me. It was a continuity that them wasn't the same heels. These heels were like, they didn't match her character that you showed us in the beginning, because that Barbara wouldn't wear open-toed, like light blue, sky blue heels. When you showed us, she was in brown heels when she first went out, because her outfit didn't change for like 2 days. She had the same outfit on, same brown shoes, but then somehow she had a sky blue pair or whatever the pair in her office to show that she was graceful. Oh, I can jump on this chair from this water. I was like,
here's the issue I have.
Everybody notices her. She still got on glasses. Her hair's still down, but everybody's like, hey, Barbara.
And then I like how she's already had these powers and has her glasses on, and then just happens to mid-sentence realize she doesn't need the glasses.
Need her glasses on.
I don't need these. I can see perfectly. Like, you can see perfectly 30 seconds ago. Like, your eyesight just got like that.
Because what happened was she fell asleep right after she made her wish to be. She was like, I want to be like Diana. I want to be sexy, cool, and strong, and like special, right? That was her wish. And then we see her face down. She fell asleep and she woke up. The moment she woke up, it should have been like
Spider-Man won her.
It should have been like but they lost it when they didn't get her to take off her glasses. Because
so Jay Tezla, what would be your? Hold on. So we're gonna wrap it up. So what would be your rating on this movie?
Oh,
on a scale of
5.5. 5.5. And I'm being generous.
So your 10 is what? What is your 10? So people can gauge that what your 10
of DC or just in general?
In general, comic book films. This is the
Captain America: Winter Soldier is my 10.
Respect that. I can respect
because
that.
I have a huge issue.
It's a 5.5.
Yeah, I want to get to one issue that I have that pissed me off. I just realized this. One of the writers of this film is Jeff Johns. He runs DC. 2 years ago, he had a big thing, a big splash page that everyone was really annoyed at, but he explained why. And it was the fastest people in the DC comics as of right now. Cheetah is faster than Wonder Woman and Reverse Flash.
And Godspeed.
And Godspeed.
Reverse Flash.
Yeah, Reverse Flash.
He's faster than Godspeed.
Godspeed and Wonder Woman. Godspeed and Wonder Woman. But here's the issue I have. She's faster as a human than she was as a cheetah.
Yeah, that
literally.
That White House. He's right though. That White House scene where
she went from the door to the fucking way in 5 seconds.
Bro,
that was her best move the entire of all the fights, because when she does the concussion blast,
she was gone.
When she became a cheetah, she was slow as shit. Like to the point, and I know that Diana had her powers back or whatever, but still, she was still slow. Like
she was slow.
I'm like, how? Like, why is Diana even blocking this? Just knock her the fuck off and fucking kill her.
It was bad fight choreography too, because
it was.
You got no feeling that. Okay, and I'll just say this before I can get to BlackGirl Marvel's rating. You got no feel for how strong she was, because in her first introduction scene of her going toe to toe with Diana, she hits Diana and Steve at the exact same time. They fall back and fall into the exact same spot, and Steve's chest is not caved in. if it's strong enough to knock Diana back, it should be a killing blow to Steve. But he got up with nothing wrong.
And here's the
so you didn't tell us how strong she was there.
But here's that pissed me off with continuity wise.
I really feel like he was taking her strength though, real talk.
Well, yeah, because the power of dick. But here's
no, because he's the wish.
Yeah,
right?
the power of dick.
I feel like it was coming. I feel like he was just taking her strength.
Real
quick, I actually think they kind of glossed over that too. I'm like, that's the first time she's ever had sex, and we just gloss over it. She's been waiting for that for about 70 years.
Here's the issue
and they
I
just
had.
gloss over that. I'm like, when they wake up next to each other in bed, I'm like, wait a second.
He should have a little Steve Trevor. She should have a little Steve Trevor because I'm sure he.
Okay, and then they kissing each other, and I'm like,
yeah, these are Steve Trevor.
And I'm like, damn, that dude banged the Amazon. That's not bad. Something to brag about. And then just gloss over that. I'm like,
you got some of that snoo. Here's
the issue I have.
You gotta go.
I was ignoring it. Here's the issue. Here's the issue I have with the movie, and it goes to the White House scene. Wonder Woman still is kind of losing her powers a little bit, but she still has them somewhat. Minerva just leaves, and no one notices it.
What do you mean? Yes. What do you mean? She just
no. I mean, she literally took. She was wearing heels and took the fuck off, and no one heard her leave.
No, what gets me is she just wasses up on
which means
Marine One. Like Maxwell Lord takes Marine One, the president's helicopter. They have to close that door up with two people. She walks on, and they just come close the door. I'm like,
she didn't walk on. She ran on.
She ran on. But here's the
no, she wouldn't, because remember he was like he said it. He was like don't shoot this woman, protect her. He said that to everybody.
Right, but here's the issue I have with that. She literally ran home, changed, and then ran to the White House. If you watch that whole movie, her house is far as fuck away from the White House, and I've been to DC.
You got a point there. You got a point.
Even
she went home. No, she had that outfit at home. She went shopping first.
Here's how bad
it is. Have that outfit in her closet.
Yes, she did.
She went to TJ Maxx.
No. I'm dead at this TJ Maxx, but she kind of did because they showed us what she was going to turn into. Because when she went to old dude Frank Patel's house to see what that stone was about, she was already dressed in an outfit very similar to that.
And here's the crazy part. You can map out where everything was in DC based on a video game. The Division 2, the part where he sees the trash can is literally 7.5 miles away from the White House, which means she ran 10 miles in 5 seconds flat, got to the White House, beat them two motherfuckers up by herself. But she can't beat Wonder Woman in a parking lot.
So BlackGirl Marvel,
what's up?
On a list of 1 to 10, what would be your 10 as your 10 of a comic book film?
I don't know. I guess I would say I really don't. I'm gonna go with Jay Tezla and say Captain America, Winter Soldier. I'm gonna say.
So what would you rank Wonder Woman?
I would say Black Widow if it came out, but who knew?
You know what? I almost want Disney to be petty now because I know they're listening. Disney, be petty. Drop Wonder Woman literally in 2 weeks.
Black Widow
in 2 weeks, and just be petty as shit, and just drop the bitch and say, "Here's how you make
be worse."
It can't be. It can't be.
And
honestly, I feel like it won't be.
It won't be.
I feel like it won't be. I'll say I give this film a 4. I give this film a 4 because you took a woman that taught other women how to stand strong in themselves and you regressed her so bad.
Power of dick.
Forget about forget about the CGI, forget about how fast somebody ran, because if she can run faster than Godspeed, I can admit that she could probably run somewhere in 5 minutes, 5 seconds and get to wherever she need to get to. Whatever it is, forget all of that. At the end of the day, superhero movies are about the characters, the core characters, and how they interact with the world, and you regressed her. I called her Bella Swan, and that hurt me.
My 10 of a comic book film would be The Dark Knight and
no, you get one.
And
you
the first
one.
Avengers.
You get one. They can't take the same space.
No.
Dark Knight.
He gets multiple wishes. He gets multiple wishes. He's a Dreamstone.
I would say this is a 6.5.
That's high praise.
And I say this only because I actually had more enjoyment with all the issues. I still had some more enjoyment with this one than I did the first one. Because
so you heard so you heard everything we just said, and you think this is above average.
When I'm looking at what the DCEU has given me,
no, I prefer
that 6.5. That 6.5 is not praise.
No. I'll watch Birds of Prey before I watch this again.
I'll watch Suicide Squad before I watch this shit again.
I won't.
Listen. I watch scenes from Suicide Squad that bring me joy. I'll get Suicide Squad a 6.5 because Suicide Squad has scenes that I really, really enjoy. There's not a lot of scenes in Wonder Woman 84 that I'll
do you one better.
That I'll go back and rewatch.
All right.
I'll do you one better. I'll watch Green Lantern before I watch this shit again.
Thinking of you know what? I'll actually copy one of you. I will say this is a 5.5. I'll take it down. This is a 5. This is as minimal as you can get. It was not a good film. It was. I'm glad I did not waste my money on this film.
Tez Lou, we gonna call Chaos. His new name is Rotten Tomatoes because he changed his score.
Well, that's keeping in brand because her score she was actually fresh when it came out on Christmas Day, and as of the time of recording this on the 27th, her score has now gone down.
Let me do
you down 20%.
Warner Brothers
it's going down.
Warner Brothers is calling this a hit and it's already greenlit the third one.
Well, and that's the funny thing. They're not going to get that third one for at least 5 years because Patty Jenkins is making a Star Wars Squadron film, which I gotta say. Big ups to Patty for finessing that bag before this came out.
You hear me?
Because had this came out in June,
you hear me,
baby? But see, this is the problem I have.
You would not have that job with this. This pulled one over. Yet again, Kathleen Kennedy looks like a fool.
This is the issue I have with this movie because here's what's gonna happen. They are going to whitewash this, but they're gonna sweep this movie under the rug and say, "Oh, well, it was during the pandemic, so that's why I didn't make a bunch of money or didn't get a bunch of things." And Patty, maybe she really wasn't the best director to put behind this. Not admitting that this has Zach written all over him.
I'll just say, even just saying as Patty, I was very disappointed with a lot of the choices that were made for this film. This film regressed.
I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm not saying she doesn't.
This was not the script was horrible. Casting Kristen Wiig did nothing. It's not even stunt casting. Like Kristen, she didn't add anything to this.
Honestly, I would have preferred it if she was just never Cheetah. She could have just been Barbara throughout the whole.
And that would have been fun.
Somebody that she called for, like, hey, I need some help. Can you tell me about this? Well, I'm going to this.
A setup character because we know who Barbara is. So when we get to Wonder Woman 3. There you go. You got Cheetah.
But that's the thing. I have an issue with this. If you look at the DCEU as or whatever the fuck they're calling it right now, as a whole, Zach, and I hate to go back to him on this. He has only fucked with 3 franchises: Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. He does not touch Aquaman. He's not involved with Shazam. He's not involved with Birds of Prey. The next movies that are coming out after this, he's nowhere near those films. It's only these 3 characters, the Trinity. So Wonder Woman, the first one, I got because that leads in the Justice League. That's cool. But there was no reason for you to be involved in this film whatsoever.
It doesn't even flow right. If you watch the first Wonder Woman, if you watch these films in timeline order, your first film in the timeline is Wonder Woman. Your second film is Wonder Woman 84. These do not have a cohesive flowing
and there's no flow into the next big 3 thing.
It feels like 2 different films made years apart with course correction involved in it. We're trying to suit what they think that people want to see in a film.
My thing is you should have just taken your lumps, right? This was you DC, Warner Brothers, whatever, wanted this to be a universe in the vein of MCU, right? So you got some movies that have this woman in it that ain't the greatest, but okay, they might not be the greatest, but you still have to address that continuity within your own films. You just can't go, you can't take a character that's already established before you even touched her, by the way, Patty Jenkins, like no offense, before you even touched her, she was already kind of established. You can't all of a sudden take her and be like, well, no, we're gonna try to course correct this and change this up, because there's things that she did in this movie that would have benefited her in Batman versus Superman or Justice League that she doesn't do, because to us she doesn't even have the knowledge that she can do it.
But see, that's my issue.
Really, it would have been really good to make Batman invisible when he has a kryptonite spear. When you got Doomsday around, he can just get the killer blow right behind him.
But that's
that would have been cool. Invisible, like, come on.
That's my issue with this movie, is the fact that, like, okay, if we look at the MCU in total, we look at a movie like, I don't know, Guardians. Guardians has nothing to do with Thanos when we first see him, right? Other than Gamora other than Gamora and Nebula, it doesn't have much to do with.
Well, he is the main driving factor.
No, I'm saying like if Thanos was not there, you wouldn't miss him, right?
But it's not,
there'd be no plot if he wasn't there. Him getting Infinity Stones, the whole thing.
No. But he's not. But I get what he's saying. In Guardians, he's not like the biggest issue for them in that particular film.
You look at something like Aquaman, Shazam, and hell, even Birds of Prey. Granted, they're all in the same universe, but what they're doing is they're building a foundation to go into for their trilogy. Her first movie was supposed to be building a foundation for her to keep going. Okay, we're gonna explore her backstory that led up to BVS, and that'll be her trilogy. You didn't do that. This movie has no lead off. I don't give a shit about Linda Carter being in this fucking movie. Had it been Naomi at the end of the movie, cool. Then you can say, oh, there's a second Wonder Woman out there that can be alongside her, whatever. But Linda Carter, I hate saying this, knock on wood. How do we know the next time they do Wonder Woman again, she's gonna be there? So now you've hitched your next movie on her being there. If she passes away,
not really, they don't have to have her back.
They don't have to, because you never heard about her until this film.
They don't have to, but here's the issue with that, lie. You now mentioned her twice in the same movie. You said that the main hitch.
No, I get that. I said that on my movie. I was like, so is the third movie you gonna bring her in somehow?
Because not only are you saying she's alive, you say her armor set saved the movie. Her armor set is the reason Wonder Woman even beat Cheetah.
And the thing is, that really didn't even add in that much, because all she did was deflect a couple of blasts with the wings, and she just used the electricity.
But can we real quick, can I say this? I was so annoyed. I think this might have got the biggest reaction out of me is that Diana did this whole talk about how, like, they created this armor for her and that these men were trying to get through and all this kind of stuff. And this armor didn't get damaged at all. And you had hundreds of men going against this armor. You telling me
trained warriors
with weapons.
With weapons, but somehow I get that Cheetah's strong. I get that she's strong, but she was able to wreck these wings.
She was ripping it like cardboard.
What?
On that note,
but hundreds of men.
We'll start wrapping up. Lucia, have we enticed you to see this movie from our great description?
Oh yes, I can't wait to see it. This sounds like a great movie to watch, and I love DC.
Yeah.
And all of the movies that they put out, they are my favorite.
If somebody's behind the camera holding you hostage, blink. Zack Snyder. I knew it.
That's the clip.
I knew it.
Not let our girl go.
I hope you would try to watch this on a boring Sunday when nothing else is on and you just want to torture yourself and you can't find Fan 4 Stick.
No,
you can put this on.
And I know what Ted's gonna say. Lou, get high and watch it.
No.
I think that would be hard. That would ruin your high.
What I was gonna say is take a shot every time you feel as though the movie's gonna you want to turn it off.
Hey. She's one of our co-hosts. We ain't trying to get that girl alcohol poisoning.
Don't get her alcohol poisoning like that.
We ain't trying to do that to her. She family. She family. We ain't trying to do that to that girl liver. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I would really just like to say that listening to all of y'all complaints about the movie, like, this is all y'all fault. Y'all knew that. Y'all knew what y'all was getting into.
You know what? But that's the thing though, Lou. Like, legitimately, I thought going into the movie, like, okay, they didn't fuck up the first one. So, and they had a good streak going. Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, even though we argue on that, me and Chaos have argued on that, they had a good streak going of building something going forward. Especially with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was one of the movies like, oh, that's DC's big bargaining chip. This ruined it.
Wonder Woman, for me, I watched that movie and I came out of the theater like, so Captain America? This is Captain America
But
first.
no, I'm saying...
mind you, I kind of nodded off doing Captain America First Avenger, if I'm going to be totally honest with you.
But what I mean is, like, if you look at... If you look at the first 4 movies that DC dropped with BVS, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, and then
this was the one
everyone loved.
This was the one that DC, even before we got to the pandemic, could not afford to mess up. This was the one that primarily
it was their first billion-dollar film.
You did this right. This was the one that, okay, do whatever you want with the other ones, but you hit go with Wonder Woman. Keep going. Honestly, Iron Man to Iron Man 2 is divisive. Iron Man 2 to Iron Man 3 is very divisive. This would be like going from Iron Man
to Hulk 1.
Iron Man to Inhumans.
No, because I'd rather watch Inhumans than watch this shit again.
This was like complete face front. You forgot what made you good.
I'd rather watch Inhumans again.
Can I just say, I meant to say this too earlier, that like I said, my mom and my aunt, I said it to you guys off camera, my mom and my aunt both, my aunt lives in Maryland, my mom went to go visit, they went to go see Wonder Woman in theaters, because I felt like maybe if I would have seen it in theaters, bigger production, maybe would have hit different. I'm happy I didn't spend my $5, because I would have paid $5 on that. But my mom, my aunt, she's a moviegoer. Like she watches PG-13 for the most part. She don't watch nothing else, but like she goes to movies a lot. She fell asleep.
It's a long movie.
She does not fall. She does, mind you, it's a long movie with a lot of exposition that doesn't need to be in there. And then 2, my mom watches all these comic book movies. She's more of a Marvel mom than anything else. But she does watch.
With you being BlackGirl Marvel, she has to be.
Exactly.
Like Mom Marvel.
It would be a problem if she wasn't. But she still watches these movies. Like she's seen Superman, all that kind of stuff. She fell asleep. Now, she said she was nodding off. She tried to chalk it up to the fact that they had it cold in the theater. Mind you, this theater has seat warmers.
Damn, they got better seats than what we got.
Yes, they do. They have seat warmers. So I said, that's nice of you trying to say that you fell asleep because it was cold and you went into hibernation mode. No, that movie was cold, honey. You fell asleep.
So with that being said, this movie was shit. Where can we find everybody? Lucia, where can the great people find you if they want to follow you?
Again?
You can find me on social media at Issheblackorazn, and I'll be on YouTube soon with somebody.
BlackGirl Marvel, where can people find you at?
Well, you guys, you can find me on all social media. You can find me everywhere. No, it's fine. You can find me on all social media, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, IG, Twitter as well. I'm getting better at that. I just keep tweeting celebrities because I don't care at this point. You gonna find me, you gonna listen to me and my podcast, or everybody's podcast.
I've learned not to do that on Twitter with celebrities.
No, I don't talk smack about them. I tell them we love them and I tag them in our things. That's the difference, sir.
We're trying to be friendly.
We're trying to be friendly. But I ain't gonna lie about stuff though either. But also, I have a Patreon coming soon. You can check out my YouTube, BlackGirl Marvel, and I will be having look out for the name of Full Cup with Lou and La coming soon.
Tezla,
he's like,
say nothing.
He's like, that's bait.
Don't say nothing.
That's bait.
Google, how much did Pedro Pascal get paid for Wonder Woman 1984?
They don't know.
Whatever he got paid, kind of earned.
You can find me at Jay Tezla on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
That's part of Wonder Woman.
JayTezla.bandcamp.com for all the music. JayTezlaNerd.wordpress.com. I'm going to do a very, very, very fucked up rant to this movie eventually. So yay.
I look forward to reading that.
You shouldn't, because it might not be words. It might just be a video longer than this. I am doing a video tomorrow, actually, called the wrap up for 2020. I'm going to talk about this movie in length because this movie is the most disappointing thing of this year, and this is a year that has Cyberpunk come out.
I was gonna say Cyberpunk, but okay.
No, because Cyberpunk I didn't get to play that. This I had to watch.
Avengers the game was the letdown too.
You know what? I'd rather play Avengers. There's a lot of things I'd rather do than
I'd rather watch Thor: The Dark World.
I'd rather watch a Lions game.
Ooh. And on that note, thank you for joining me here on the channel. I'd like to thank everybody for hopping on to just get out some good feels for this clusterfuck of a film that we had, the last one of 2020, the year that just won't end. You can find me. You already found me on the YouTube, so thank you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram, same name, Team Chaos. You can find me on Facebook in the Wakinda Black Nerd Cast is this page on Facebook. Please find us on there. We have good discussions in our group with the same name. We enjoy having lively debates, and we have a lot more content coming out in 2020. You can start looking at semi-regular content from me here on this channel in 2020. Thank you for following me. Thank you to everybody for joining me today. I appreciate everybody hopping on tonight. And if I don't get to see you guys in a Zoom chat, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining me. Be safe, nerd responsibly.